It is a pleasure to see you again on my CryptoQ Media channel. I think the doubters will be embarrassed by the incredibly bullish news on XRP and Ripple, which is one side of the coin. Conversely, there is no middle ground. Conversely, the usual delays in procedures are being caused, once again, by the SEC. You may find a detailed explanation of all these ideas in this video. Finally, it seems like the SEC will move on with that appeal and the Ripple case. Both sides have valid points, but the bad news for XRP holders is that this might go on until about the middle of 2025, according to analysts. The obvious conclusion is that we are now in a position to predict the market peak, which could happen around the year 2025. Indeed, ripples are real. So to say, this is the path that the legal team is on. Surely we shouldn't be taken aback. In all likelihood, no. If you stop to consider it, the only person who could alter this is the US President-elect. Can we just throw this out? Yes, it is correct. If we see a firm position in favor of cryptocurrency, this whole situation might go away. I think the SEC did say there's some good news, but they're planning to appeal the Ripple court ruling, which would hurt their standing in the cryptocurrency industry. With strong evidence and convincing arguments, the SEC may be able to overcome three major obstacles. Lastly, these obstacles consist of the following: 1. A decision stating that the sale and exchange of XRP do not constitute securities. 2. A reduction of the $1 billion penalty for $120.5 million in institutional sales. And 3. The necessity for the SEC to drop its charges against Ripple executives. That needs to be conquered. Why did you decide to pursue an appeal instead of continuing with your case against two high-ranking individuals? That concludes my remarks on the matter. Based on my best judgment, it is going to be a moving feast that we ought to steer clear of. We have now gotten the bad news out of the way. Now we can go to the good news, the news that is really good for RLUSD and XRP. What we discussed yesterday will essentially go down in history as, this, in my opinion, will transpire more rapidly than the majority of people anticipate. Will you be able to handle this? We now know which exchange partners will release RLUSD abroad, and I think that's really important to mention. Bitstamp, Bitso, MoonPay, Endeavor Servecoin, Mina, and Bullish will all make RLUSD available to customers and institutions around the world if regulators authorize it. All of this is predicated on the notion that it will be available for purchase by the general public, after which it will inevitably undergo examination by relevant regulatory bodies. This is an example of a product developed specifically for commercial use that combines the security of fiat money with the efficiency of blockchain. AeroUSD allows for instant global settlement, anytime, anyplace, and converting between money and Bitcoin is a snap. To reiterate, our requirements are perfectly compatible with the tokenization of asset value. I can sense your thoughts, that's awful. Regulatory ambiguity has been a hot topic for some time. What gives the sole distinction between RL and USD is the individuals concerned. It has come to our attention that a Ripple swell exists. Notably, earlier on stage, we had Adriana Harris, who is the superintendent for the New York State Department of Financial Services, and Stuart Aldertree talking about the need for clear regulations, the shifting cryptocurrency landscape in the US, and, most importantly, the future of the industry in light of these regulations. Actually, a flood of information has been flowing out of the waves. Everything is looking rather bullish as it unfolds. This two-day event is something that everyone is eagerly anticipating, and we are all aware of it. Everyone knows this is an effort to steal money, yet the SEC keeps making noise about it nevertheless. Even more importantly for organizations seeking a stable currency like the US dollar, You are trying to break into a market where regulations are quite clear. This is particularly the case when considering the liquidity that services like MoonPay provide. In terms of entrances and exits, this is first rate. Right now, we may look at the price situation as it is. Quite a day Bitcoin made an effort to test this upper range again. For a short time, 67,000 ETFs were inaccessible. I got turned down. I'm sorry. If we are getting ready for another push, though, that depends on what occurs in the next few hours. At 54 cents, down nearly 0.5%, XRP's holdings are in line with the market overall. But what do you see in this graph? The obvious restriction when we focus in means that this will eventually break. A change will be apparent. Considering the USD's link to XRP and everything going with Ripple swell, I feel we should continue developing. Be sure to stay tuned for a significant turning point leading up to the November election. The value of cryptocurrencies should fluctuate more under Trump's presidency than it did during Harris's. It appears like that's what most people are thinking right now. Not that it's a guarantee, but it's something to think about. And if you think that a Trump appointee would be removed and the XRP case may be dropped with zero fines if they were to get in, then it's even more true. Honestly, it's hard to fathom XRP not skyrocketing. You are the reason why my video was noticed. It means a lot to me that you've subscribed and watched my channel. Until then, take care.